Okay, so I just wanted to put up this little quote that has to do with the power thinking and growth mindset, that success is not final and failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. So keep up the good work. And let's talk about Piaget and Vygotsky and the differences between them. So Piaget believed that cognitive development was nature and that it was biological, and we have to wait for the biological structures in the brain to develop before the children can learn. Vygotsky thought it was nature, a small amount of nature, but mostly nurture. And what he believed is that there's certain kinds of biological parts of our brain that need to be there for cognitive development. But he thought that socially shared activities lead to these internalized processes. So simple processes might be biological, but complex processes of learning skills and things that are more complex, like simple process of this is a ball, this is a train, this is a doll. That might be, you need to have some biological structures in your brain to be able to process language. But once we get into categorizing your dolls and, those objectives that and the operations that we talked about, then that is sociocultural, and we can promote that kind of development by giving children experiences and providing them with questions and things that will help them move on to the next level of development. One of the other differences between Piaget versus Vygotsky is that Piaget looked at kids who were talking to themselves, and he looked at that as self-talk. And so in parallel play, if you're sitting next to another child, they might be, talking to themselves and sitting next to a child. And this is egocentrism. Piaget believed that it was egocentrism. But when Vygotsky looked at children and they were talking to themselves, he looked at it as they were doing self-talk, and this is part of the learning process. I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And so both of them are children talking to themselves, but Piaget looked at it as being egocentric and not being aware of the other person, where Vygotsky looked at it as part of the learning process. So you watched some videos. Now, some of you watched one of the videos, and some of you watched both of the videos, and some of you watched none of the videos. So what I did was I created videos that kind of showed Piaget's different stages with my grandchildren, and I did it a few years ago. So at the time, these were my grandchildren and their ages. Little Cece was only 2.5 months. Christian was 3, Caitlin was 8, Kaylee was 12. So you can see these were my grandchildren when I created those videos, but I created them to show you, to kind of take the book to the next level. So you can read about cognitive development and the different stages of Piaget. And I want you to use that information that you read from the textbook, but also watch the videos before you do the activity that we're going to do today. So this is my grandchildren today. So Cece is now 4, and I have a new granddaughter, Abby. She's 3, and here's Tanner, Grace, Logan, Caitlin, Kaylee, and Christian. So they've grown up a little since the videos. But, whoops. So because we're at all different stages here, with some of you watched the videos and some of you didn't, the activity that I was going to do in class, you really have to watch those videos and read the chapter before you do the activity. So let me go over how to do it and then see if you have any questions, and then I'm going to set you free to do that. So in Edpuzzle, you should watch this video of part 1, part 2, week 5, part 2. And also you need to have watched the video that was part 1, Cognitive Development Action Part 1. Those 2 videos are essential before you do this activity that we're doing today. So those of you who didn't complete that, watch both videos before the activity. Also, reading the chapter or having the book there for you, you can refer to these stages as you complete the activity. So we had in the video, you'll see sensory motor stage, CCN Tanner, and you're going to look at, you read about or watched about mental operations and what those operations are. But basically, you're going to complete an activity today that shows that you understand the difference between the sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational stages. So in Google Classroom, I'm going to give you directions on what to do, and then I'm going to set you free to do it. So there is an assignment called Stages of Cognitive Development. And this is what it looks like. You all have your own copy of this. And what I want you to do is I want you to demonstrate your understanding of these different stages and to do it in a way that you're going to look for some images and pictures for each stage that show that you know what that stage is, and then add in a text box, explain what the stage is. I don't want you to copy and paste from a website what they say about the stage. I want you to use your own words. You can change the layout or the design of the slides. I just have a slide for each one of the stages. But for each stage, I'd like to see 2 or 3 images and some kind of text, not just one little sentence, but you explaining what that stage of development is. And you can give an example there, like if you know of someone that is in that stage, you can give an example of this child that you know and how they're in that stage. So I want you, in order to get full credit for this assignment, you really have to demonstrate your understanding of that stage without just copy and pasting from a website. So now what questions does anyone have? You can put in the chat or speak out. What questions do you have about this assignment? You don't hear anything. So your task then is to use class time today to work on this assignment, but you can't work on this assignment until you watch those 2 videos. So if you haven't watched both videos, go to Edpuzzle or in Google Classroom, you can see the videos that you have to watch, cognitive development from this week, presentation for, not the presentation, the Edpuzzle, this one, week 5, part 2. And if you haven't watched from last week, the cognitive development in action, you need to watch that also. This will give you information and the basic knowledge that you need in order to be creative. So I'm asking you to use your creative and your interpretive thinking, but based on what you know about those stages from watching the videos and from reading the textbook. So watch the Edpuzzles first. This is due by Sunday, but I'm giving you today's time to do it. So I'd like you to finish it today. But if you have to watch those videos first, you may not finish today. So I want you to do a good job of it. And that's why I'm not taking up your time in class today. You have this time, you set this time aside, so you have time to work on this. And the videos are, let's see, how long are the videos? This part 2, the video is 17 minutes. And for part 1, and most of you did watch part 1. So if you watch that video for 17 minutes, you have a good chunk of time of this class to work on it. Part 1, if you didn't watch it yet, that is 20 minutes. So thank you for those questions. Any other questions?
So just for clarification, we're just gonna watch the video and answer the slides.
Wait, you know what? Let me turn my volume up because I didn't hear you. Can you please repeat that, Wajahi?
I said for clarification, we're just gonna watch the videos and answer the slides.
Yes, watch the two videos and then go on the slides. And on each slide, you're going to add at least a couple pictures and an explanation in your own words of what that stage is, okay? And then submit it.
Okay.
Okay, well, I hope all of you don't have a problem with that. Just contact me if you're having a problem with that. I can get back on and help you. But you don't need me to do your thinking for you. So I hope you have a good weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you create in your little PowerPoint slides or Google Slides. Have a nice weekend.